So don't be discouraged. Don't be demoralized. Those days you come back and then you wet your pillow with tears because of the workload in medical school, or because you failed the test, or because you feel an MB. No, just get yourself up here and then work, study, read like your life depends on reading. Give it your 6 years. Just kill yourself for that 6 years. Deprive yourself of things, social life, other things. These things. Your social media time should be reduced. You can't be spending 2 hours on Facebook, 1 hour on Instagram, 3 hours on Snapchat, 2 hours on Twitter, and you expect to do exploits in medical school. It doesn't work that way. You need to create time for your books. Okay, so try as much as possible to create time for your books. Create time, study, pray. Very importantly, you can't do anything without God. There's no exam I go for. I forgot to mention that part. There is no exam I go for. Mark my word, there is no exam I go for without at least having a 3 days fasting and prayer.
Wow.
Yeah. Read everything I can read. I solve all the past questions I can solve, but I must do at least a 3-day fasting and prayer.
Wow.
At least 6 to 12, sometimes 6 to 3, depending on my capacity, depending on my mood at the moment. I may not look all that churchy, but I tell you, I serve my God diligently. All right? So prayer is you can never do anything without God. All right? So these are a few words of advice. Feel free to ask any comments, any questions, sorry. Feel free to put your questions down in the comment section. And then she will get back to me, and I'll always answer your questions.
Wow.
I'm always there to help you. I'm always there to mentor the young ones. Because I feel life is all about mentorship. I always tell people that no matter where you want to go in life, there's always someone who has gotten there. All you need to do is connect with that person and be mentored. The youth can always walk faster, right? But an elder knows the way. You can never walk so fast. Always follow an elder. It's wise to crawl while following an elder who knows the way, and to run fast because you want to go on your own, and then you will eventually get to a point that is never your destination. Wow. These are a few words of advice for you. You can do it.
So our viewers out there, this is the best graduating student of medicine, and we are having her from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. So thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome. I mean, it's a privilege. It's an honor being here, being invited by you. It's an honor.
Thank you. Can you tell us about yourself?
That's a very big question. I don't know where do I start. All right. So I am. My name is Dr. Chiamaka.
Okay.
I'm 26. I hail from Anambra State. Here at local government precisely.
Wow.
Getting admission into UN was one of my little successes. I could relate to because I had other bigger ones that I was more grateful to God for. Okay. But then today I think I should be more grateful to God that I got into UNN because I think the school opened a lot of doors. So I left secondary school 2012.
Wow.
I graduated from Brainpoint Schools in Lagos. By the grace of God, I was the best graduating student from my secondary school in 2012. Then afterwards, I wrote JAMB, of course, like every other Nigerian student. I wanted to start medicine immediately, as a young girl with all the fire in me. I applied for Anambra State University. So when I applied to the school, I didn't get the admission for medicine. I actually got admission for biochemistry, So personally, did I want it? Of course not. In fact, at the point, I wanted to, decline the admission and stay at home for another 1 year and, wait for the next year to write JAMB. But Well, a few others, insisted I should start school. I start small, gather the course, go for a change of course. I could, do anything, but I should start school instead of, staying out for a year. So I decided to start, and by the grace of God, I graduated in 2016 uh, from Department of Biochemistry, Anambra State University with a first class honors. And then, that again, brought a lot of confusions. Me, should I go for medicine? Should I go for masters? There were so many opportunities out there for scholarship for masters abroad. So a lot of family members were advising, go for masters, go for this, go for that. So I mean, everyone in confusion. I must have, So, but then, I mean, my dreams to be a doctor, I didn't kill it. I still decided to pursue it. So, the same year, I mean, I applied for direct entry into UNN. A lot of people were saying, oh, you couldn't get to UNN, it's too competitive, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I told myself, listen, I'm the best candidate for that school at that moment. It's not pride, it's you knowing what you have.
Exactly.
People were trying to discourage me, oh, don't go to UNN, just go and do masters. UNN is competitive. It's all about IM, income
yes,
connection.
that's the truth.
So I got discouraged, but I went into my room. I told myself, if I become a first class graduate, why won't they take me for medicine? I mean, if you want to compare me to all their JAM aspirants, came in through JAM, I'm not trying to be proud of myself here. I'm not trying to, portray pride, but honestly, to tell you that I was the best candidate at that moment. If we were to judge it, in the right order.
Yeah.
So I started to apply, irrespective of all the comments, here and there. And boom, I applied. And I was actually preparing for my NYSC because I was shortlisted for Delta. I was posted to Delta anyways. I think that was like a week to my camp. I actually bought all the stuff I left my NYSC. The whole white boots, whatever, all the white clothes and all. I got everything, And just 1 week to my departure, boom, a friend of mine called me and said, congratulations. I'm like, congrats on what, please? She said, oh, that she went to check her name. She didn't get admission, but then she saw my name. I'm like, really? Wow. Interesting. So I went online myself, and then I saw my name. It was more like a boost feeling for me, Because honestly, I didn't believe I could get it. But then, here we are today. Getting to the school was another huge one. I'm not sure you want to hear how my journey went. Trust me, it wasn't an easy one. But we thank God yesterday. Give all the glory.
Thank God. Thank God. There's something I really picked from you and it struck me. It's knowing who you are. I think self-confidence matters a lot in getting results.
Sure, of course. Self-confidence, that's undisputable.
Really?
Yeah.
So I have archived that, knowing who you are. Somebody was telling me something about it. Like when the person was writing MB, that's in the set above me, he was trying to say that he cannot fail any course. And then my friend was like, that's pride. I said it's not pride. That he cannot just fail any course. And true, when the results was asked, he did not fail any course. Like, it's just knowing who you are exactly.
Medical school exams. No, the first rule to passing the exam is actually self-confidence. Because all through my years there, I discovered that any exam I go in for with confidence, I usually come out with flying colors. But any of those exams I go in and maybe I'm scared, sometimes I come out with 69.5. Which was just 0.5 away from 70. So self-confidence gives it away because once you start panicking, once you're not confident in yourself, even the little stuffs you tend to forget them. Even the ones you remember, you tend to, misplace them. You see yourself putting C before A, and then maybe Z before Y. That kind of stuff. You start actually don't know these things, but then because you're not confident, you start panicking. You start forgetting stuff. So that's what happens. Self-confidence is key. Trust me.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you so much. For my viewers, before we continue with the interview, please click on the subscription button and then turn on your notification. Please, what were the challenges you faced in your medical journey? And how will you help, like, how did you come out of them so that we can learn from those? Most times challenges in medical school are kind of similar. So that those that are passing through the same challenge can, see at least a way out. See somebody that has passed through that challenge and is coming out stronger.
Medical school is not hard, trust me. The only issue I had there was the work, because you see that, let's say for instance, second LP, for example, you have anatomy, biochemistry, physiology, and then these things are actually quite easy. Like if you sit down to read them, if you sit down to, let's say for instance, you sit down to read maybe anatomy of the bladder, anatomy of the rectum, for that minute, for that second, for that hour, you understood it. It's clear in your head. You actually watch videos, to help supplement whatever thing you've learned. But you discover that, because of the massive workload you have and then the limited time available, you start struggling, So for me, what I actually did that really helped a lot was, let's say I gave little or no time to my social life, and then I transferred virtually all the time I had to my books. So what I was doing basically was, due to the workload, of course, you tend to, it's normal to read and forget because you have a lot to read. And you have a lot of details you need to put in your little brain. So what I was doing basically was, channeling all my time to my books, reading as much as I can. Early morning, I wake up, let's say 4, 5, I read as much as I can before I go to school. And once I get back from school, when my mates are busy gisting out there in the bookstores or telling stories about how their day went, I just go straight to my room, get up, let's say 5 to 6 hours every day. Well, not really every day, because sometimes you come back very tired, you have to come down with maybe women's pain, menstrual cramps, come down with a lot of stuff, and you'll be able to read. But let's say out of 7 days in a week, I could say that I was doing at least 5 days a week. Yeah, so because of creating that much time and allocating it to your books, I was opportune to read and read over and over, because one secret to actually doing so well in medical school is consistency, and then your ability to read over and over. Because the truth is that you were not born an anatomist, you were not born a biochemist, you were not born a pathologist or mycologist or whatever you may call it, all right? So you should, it's normal to forget these things. For instance, in pharmacology, you have a lot of drugs, their names, you should know their mechanism of action. So you could forget these things because you're not born with them. It's not your tribal mark. It's not there with you. So you need to put it as part of you. You need to make it a part of you. And one way I realized I was able to make this thing a part of me was, reading it over and over again. So reading it over and over again is not easy because you don't have enough time. In medical school, you go to school very early, you come back very late, you still have your own life to live, your personal life to attend to. But like I said, I actually gave little or no time to my social life. I will tell you that my 6 years in school, I was more like an introvert, because I wanted to, give more time. I wasn't partying, not because I don't like parties. Of course, everybody loves to party. You love to hang out with friends, you love to, go to the clubs, chill out, have a drink, but I wasn't doing those things, not because I can't, but because I felt like, instead of spending 2 hours, 3 hours out there with friends, I'd rather put it into my studies. I could read like 3 topics, for that night. So that was me then, and then of course during holidays, instead of going home, most times I stay back for Christmas breaks.
Wow.
Rest of them, yeah. So I could remember I spent almost 4 of my Christmas celebration in
Wow.
school. Yeah, because there was this thing about UNN. Most times they usually have a test. I don't know if it's something they do intentionally or if it's something that just happens as a coincidence. Most times you're always having a test to write around second week or third week of January. It could be maybe a second test, it could be a mock, but it's always a major exam. So for me, I felt like, it's not about relaxing and waiting to do the magic in your main MP. No, the magic starts with the little test because those tests actually add up to your CA. For my school, it was 30-70. So 70 for the main MP and then 30 for your CA. So those tests actually add up to your total score eventually. So for me, I felt like, starting late to build them, was actually very crucial. And then to build them, of course, time was needed. So I had to create this time. Of course, people always say there's no time, there's no time. The truth is that you can create time. But you have to there's no pain, there's no gain. So you have to actually deprive yourself of some things. Like I just mentioned, my social life was actually deprived. I was starving socially. But then I had a boyfriend, that was always complaining. Oh, you're never online. Oh, you never pick my call. Oh, you always put on my call like 5 to 6 hours late. Oh, each time I call you, you spend only 5 to 10 minutes on call with me. I want to spend time with my woman. I want to talk to you like it's an hour video call to us. I'm like, hell no way. Who has 2 hours to give to you for video call?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a student. I've got to read. So so this way, and then of course at the point I was having issues with him. We broke up. I suffered from that, breakfast. I moved on, but because I was going to. So distractions always come. So my social life was actually fine. I must tell you, But today,
Yeah,
I think I'm happy.
exactly. You have paid the price to win another prize. That
Of
is it.
course.
So you always pay a price to win another prize. I am. Wow, but that's a lot actually.
I tell myself I want to be 6 topics tonight. I'm not gonna sleep until I get that done. That's
Wow.
being disciplined. But I tell myself today is Saturday. I don't want to step out. I just want to read all day. I'm gonna read all day. No
Wow.
matter what happens, even if my friends come in, sometimes my friends will come to my house knocking. I won't open the door. I'll pretend I'm not around because I don't want distractions. Because once you come into my room, of course you want us to peace, you want us to play, have fun, and then I already have something mapped out for that day. So me not opening my door for you is not because I don't like you as a friend, but because I have something I need to cover for the day and I'm not even done with it. So me allowing you into my house is like you interrupting my schedule for the day. So most times I lock up my door, stay in my room. People come knocking, I don't open the door. It's still discipline.
Wow.
So it's a lot, my dear. I must tell you, it's a lot.
Can you tell us how you prepared for your MBs? Like, how did you prepare for your MBs? Especially for bulky courses like gross and all those things. Did you use kits more for your gross anatomy?
Well, one thing about MB preparations for medical school is actually school dependent. Preparation tips are school dependent. I'll tell you why. Because for some schools prefer to use last, like my school. I don't know if you know about last.
I know
Like
that.
my school, they prefer last because they say last more detailed, although it's summarized, and it just gives you straight up the details, like the points you need to know. And then case more was actually more like a bulky textbook,
It's quite bulky.
all the pictures you need, all the clinical scenarios you need. So like I said, schools they all have their own semantics. So I didn't use case more. So for my end preparations, I think it still boils down to everything I've been saying so far. Reading and reading over and over again. Well, some people believe in jotting while reading, and then close to the exams, they would revise what they jotted down. For me, I was never the jotting type. In fact, I never had the notes in medical school. The only notes I had was my class, like, lecture notes where I jot, like what the lecturer is saying in class. I just jot a little bit. I don't even jot everything. I only jot, because I mean they teach us with slides, PowerPoint slides. So I just,
Yeah.
when you're teaching, I read the slides with you. I listen to your teaching. Anything I see you say that is not in the slide, then I write it down. If that makes sense. And then my second note is the one I used for my clinical rotations in the hospital. When your consultants are teaching, you write down. So what I did basically was, I was more of kind of person who read, textbooks. I so much invested time in textbooks. A lot of people tell you materials, but for me, it was more of textbooks. I read textbooks over and over. And then towards my exams, I just still read textbooks again. And then maybe, let's say, a few weeks to my exams, then I go through the lecture materials. The reason is that for me, the textbooks helps to broaden my knowledge about the topic. And then close to the exams, I just flip through the lecture notes. But usually, I don't know about your school, but for my school, most times lecture notes are usually deficient information. Sometimes they just give you bullet points without much of explanations. But then during the exams, they expect you to do the magic. They expect these clinical scenarios for you that they are not there verbatim in your materials. For you to answer such questions, you must have an in-depth knowledge. And for me, the in-depth knowledge was from the textbooks. So I read my textbooks over and over, and then few weeks to the exam, I read lecture notes, and of course, very importantly, your past questions. For me, in my school, they were not really particular about repeating past questions, but one thing about past questions is that it gives you an insight on the kind of question to expect. But by the time you said for me, what I did was I took at least 3 years backwards. I solved their past questions, both the MCQs, both the essays. So there was nothing much, there was no repetition, so to say. But then it gave me an insight of, the kind of thing they could ask, both for the essays and so while reading now, it makes it a bit easier, when you're reading, what to focus on, the kind of details that, could be asked as an exam question. So that was actually what really helped me. A lot of people say discussion groups help. Sure, it helps people, but for me, I was more of a standalone person. Excuse me. I never did discussion groups. I think the only discussion group I did was my final year. Just a few weeks in the exam. Some of my female friends, I noticed they were having issues with some examinations, how to do some examinations, clinical examinations. So what I did was I brought them together. We were just three of us, I think four. So I just brought us together, and then we started to form a small group where we come and practice how to examine on each other. For me, I didn't really do it for me. I'll be honest, I did it for them because they were my friends. And there's this thing about medical school. When you pass exams and your friends don't pass, the joy is never complete.
Yeah.
So for me, I wanted to go to my friends. I didn't want a case of graduating and my friends are still having receipts or repeats in school. So I had to form that little group, hey, my friends, please come, let's do this together, just little stuff. So that was me and MB preparations, textbooks, materials, past question. Of course, my social life was markedly deprived.
Wow, thank you so much. I just wish this interview can go on over and over. Like, I'm just enjoying everything. But so we have come to the end of this interview. Do not forget to click on the subscription button and turn on your notification for this interview. Drop your questions on the comment section. Our doctor will help us to attend to it. Bye.